Hey guys, so today we're going to take care of page 6 in your Unit 3 packet. We're going to look at more solving inequalities today. Today we're specifically going to look at multi-step inequalities. So again, we're using the same steps to solve an inequality as we do to solve an equation. So think about those possible steps. If there's parentheses, we distribute. Then we add or subtract to get all of our letters on one side, all of our whole numbers on the other side, and then we either multiply or divide, depending on if we have fractions or multiplication happening, always using those opposite operations, okay? Remember, though, what we did previously, right? If we multiply or divide by a negative, then we do have to flip that inequality symbol, right? So this reminder is still huge, still what we're going to do. So when I look at number 1, no parentheses, so no distributing. So now I'm going to go opposite operations. I have a plus 19. I need to subtract 19. So negative 16 minus 19, watch your signs there, is negative 35. Then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 7. Now here's the key. I divided by negative 7, so I flip my inequality. Negative divided by a negative gives me positive 5. So remember, we put our number in the middle. This is an open circle, and greater than 5 means we should shade to the right. If I take the same steps over to number 2, again, no parentheses. I see a minus 10, so I'm going to do the opposite and go plus 10. 6h greater than or equal to 42. Divide both sides by 6. This time I divided by a positive number, so my symbol stays, and I get 7. So again, I put it in the middle. This is a closed circle and shade to the right. If you need more time with the first 2 examples, go ahead and hit pause. If we look down at example 3, now I do have parentheses, so we're going to distribute. I multiply. 6 times 5x is 30x. 6 times the negative 3 is a minus or negative 18. And we're still less than or equal to 36x. Now notice I have an x on my left-hand side and my right-hand side. And the 18 has no x, so I have to get the x's together. So this positive 30x, the opposite is a minus 30x. So a negative 18 less than or equal to 36 minus 30 is 6x. Get x by itself, so divide by 6. Now be careful, this is negative 18 divided by 6. I am dividing by a positive 6, so my symbol stays. Be careful when you number your number line. But because my x is on the right, if you want to write this the other way, remember the open end still faces the x. The negative 3 has the pointed end. So that's going to give me a closed circle at negative 3, but we are greater than, so it should shade to the right. When I'm looking at something like number 4, I do see that fraction, but before I worry about the fraction, I do have whole numbers, so I'm going to get those whole numbers together first. So I see a positive 9, I'm going to minus that 9. Negative 3 minus 9 is negative 12, and then I still have this 2/3 r. So now we have this fraction to take care of. So to me, a fraction is division, and the easy way to take care of it is to multiply by what's on the bottom. So in this case, I multiply by 3. That 3 makes the bottom of my fraction go away. I'm multiplying by a positive 3. So that means my symbol stays. Now I have 2r. So now I'm going to divide by 2. I'm dividing by a positive 2. So again, even though there's a negative involved, my symbol stays because I'm dividing by a positive number. If I put that negative 18 in the middle, again, careful with your negatives. If it helps, the open end is facing the r, the pointed end is facing the negative 18. But now I can tell that this is my closed circle, and we are greater than or equal to that negative 18. If you need more time with examples 3 and 4, go ahead and hit pause. Otherwise, if we look below, what happens if the variable disappears while we are solving? So just like when we worked with equations, sometimes our letter goes away altogether. So what happens then? If your inequality that is left is true, meaning it's going to say something that's true, like 2 is less than 10. That's going to mean that it is all real numbers. If the inequality that is left is false, then we're going to say no solution. So something that is false would be like 2 is greater than 12. That doesn't work. You're going to go through all of the same solving steps as we do with any inequality. It just means if this happens, we have to account for it. So if I use my solving steps on number 5, I see parentheses, so let's distribute. So the 46 less than 8m stays. I am distributing a negative 4, so negative 8m, right, because negative 4 times 2. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. And so now notice that I have these like terms that I can combine. So 8m minus 8m goes to 0m, right? Technically. So really, we don't really need this 0m. I'm just kind of showing you that that's what's happening. So I have an inequality that says 46 is less than negative 20. So that's a false statement. And so we're simply going to write no solution. Okay? So when it's no solution, we're also going to say, I'm going to put a note up here that says do not shade, meaning don't put anything on your number line. There is no answer, so nothing goes on the number line. If I take the same approach to question 6, again, I've got parentheses, so let's distribute. Negative 3 times 8y is negative 24y. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Negative 6 times 4y is negative 24y. Negative 6 times 1 is positive 6. Here I have like terms 18 and negative 12. So 18 minus 12 is 6, minus 24y, negative 24y, and plus 6 is still on the other side. So if I try to add my 24y over 6, this is gone, this is gone, and we get 6. So 6 is greater than or equal to 6. That's true because of the or equal to. So we're going to say all real numbers. But along with that, we also want to sort of show that it's the entire number line. So any numbers I would put on that number line, right? Even if I just pop my 0 in the middle, it is everything. So up here, we're going to add to shade the whole line, because every number we encounter is a possible solution. If you need more time with 5 and 6, go ahead and hit pause. Otherwise, what I'm asking you to do is to complete the questions on page 7 and then upload to Canvas. So some of them will solve like the top 4 questions where you get an answer and you graph, and you might have some that are no solution or all real numbers. So just be careful.